Welcome to a special edition of Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the MarketSite in Times Square, we have a student group taking part in the Voleo Nasdaq Student Equity Trading Competition. Guys, it's great to have you with us. Tom, welcome back to the MarketSite. Tell us more about the Voleo Trading Competition.
Thanks. It's great to be back. This is our third year running the student trading competition, and it's our best yet. We've got the students using the Voleo Simulator platform to build portfolios, which they'll be managing through the spring, all to win some great prizes, cash portfolios, a trip back to New York for a Nasdaq Market Open, and of course to prepare for their financial futures and their careers. So that's what this is all about.
All right, and that's definitely the best part in $1 million portfolio, so certainly plenty of assets to work with. Let's go down the line here and learn more about your different trading styles and what you hope to learn from the competition. Tommy Curia, we'll start with you, a student at Hofstra, graduating in December. Yes, congratulations on that. And why did you want to join this trading competition? What do you hope to get out of it?
So we got introduced to the competition as part of another competition, the Smith C Consortium competition hosted in Chicago, which Voleo was the sponsor of. So we got kicked off there. With regards to what we want to get out of it, I think that we could kind of test different styles and try things that we may not be comfortable doing with either our investment clubs at the schools or with our own personal accounts. So we could try different things and kind of toggle with different approaches to investing.
All right, and also from Hofstra, we have Suvir Simingel. Same thing. What do you hope to get from this trading competition?
Oh yeah, so to echo my colleague Tom's point, so both Tom and I want to end up going into the hedge fund asset management industry, and we thought that this competition was the perfect starting ground to do essentially what we would do there, have a thesis, build a portfolio, put it through the back testing, and essentially see how it does. And we were pleased to announce really that we got everything we were looking for out of it.
Yeah, it's great to have the opportunity to do that with paper money and have the opportunity to back test and test your strategies from there. And then Pace, downtown New York City representing, we have Priscilla Garcia. Same thing, I'll ask you, what do you hope to get out of this competition?
Oh, what I hope to get out of this competition is a better understanding of the marketplace. I've taken place in 2 different stock competitions, one for my organization that I help lead, the Pace Investment Club, and another for Cetera, a wealth management firm. And I've learned a lot from those 2 stock competitions, and I thought, why not take part in Voleo's?
All right, super interesting. And Camilla Chung, we will wrap it up with you representing Farouk CUNY. Same thing I'll ask you as well. And I believe you're going for your master's at this point.
Right.
What are you looking to get out of the Voleo trading competition?
I'm trying to gain some real life exposure to the financial markets. I'm personally trying to pursue a career either in investment or sales and trading. So joining these competitions allows me to have a sharper market sense of what is going on out there. And apart from joining this competition, I also joined another competition, which is I trade future in that competition. So I'm also part of the investment club in my school as well. So right now I'm really trying to
understand. Well, you know, I'm glad that you brought up the fact that you're also trading futures because you have a little bit of an edge here. You can understand how to hedge your portfolio as well using a different asset class besides equities. Is that something that you think about as you're going through the equity competition?
I think more generally, I just really want to gain exposure to different types of asset classes. So joining Voleo competition allows me to gain better understanding of the equity market, while the other competition is more of an other side of, it's more like futures and more like speculations of the market. So it's very different.
All right, so we're about halfway through the competition, or just started in?
Just started last month, so we're glad to have everyone up and trading. Portfolios are looking good. Markets are cooperating, and they're all using Nasdaq basic data to stay on top of their portfolios every day. So we're very glad to have Nasdaq sponsorship and cooperation running it. All
right, well, let's talk about it from the Hofstra point of view. Is this a long-only competition, or do you have the opportunity to go short? Let's learn about some of your trading strategies.
Yeah, so we are all 100% long within our portfolio. Our portfolio is made up of stocks, ETFs, commodity ETF in the form of gold, and a treasury ETF as well. So we're diversified across asset classes in the most vanilla way possible.
All right, and is there a concentration of sectors that you're in?
Yeah, so our portfolio thesis was essentially to focus on defensive positions, but also have that secular growth. So we do have a decent concentration in REITs, specifically in companies like Equinix that has that exposure to data centers, and then also with companies like Landmark Infrastructure Partners that pays an 8.8% dividend yield and essentially gives us that exposure to REITs. Additionally, we also have exposure within tech indirectly by MedTech, really, with the IHI index. And so we really wanted to go for businesses that had a defensive business model, but also can give us that growth and that dividend yield that we're looking for.
Is that reflective of your macro thesis, considering we're in a lower interest rate environment?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Tom could allude to that better than I can.
Yeah, so we're a little bit worried about a few things. There's definitely a little dislocation between the private and public markets, as we've seen some of the IPOs over the last few years, and WeWork, which IPO was shelved, and global low interest rates, we feel is kind of the main driver behind that, pushing up private market valuations, and they kind of come back to reality when they come into the public market. And we're also trading at a CAPE ratio, a Shiller CAPE ratio of over 30 now. Now, the previous two times that the CAPE ratio has been that high was in 1929 and 1999. So it's not an exact science, but there's a few warning signs out there that we're worried about.
And you know, given that thesis, we really tried to construct a portfolio that would essentially outperform given shocks. So we definitely have CME in there. Mm-hmm. And when we worked with our quantitative team to essentially backtest how we do, I think on an inflation-adjusted basis, we had a CAGR of about 17.3% since 2014. So we were very comfortable with the portfolio and how.
All right, and Priscilla, I'll ask the same thing of you as well, what your investment style is like and some of the sectors that you have gravitated towards.
Oh, well, I agree with Tom. It's very important to have a diversified market portfolio. And I believe the sections that I have really gravitated towards would be technology. Some stocks that I have invested in on Voleo would be Facebook. I think that has a high growth within the sector. And another stock that I've recently invested in would be Boeing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so far that has risen through the ranks, I believe. Yeah, it's really helped my portfolio grow over the past week.
So you're a value investor, then it sounds like. All right, and we'll wrap it up with you, Camilla. What are some of the approaches that you're taking to your portfolio?
In my portfolio, I have a bit of stock and also ETF. For stock, I also, like Priscilla, I focus on some tech stock, and some of the stock that I'm interested in are Alibaba, which they have really impressive singles-day sales last week, and then also for Microsoft, where they won the contract from the Department of Defense. So I was really impressed by these two companies. And apart from that, I also invest in Walt Disney. I know that they have really impressive subscriber numbers with the new streaming channel. And apart from that, in terms of ETF, S&P 500 is really bullish. So I invested in some of the S&P 500 ETF. And also, finally, I invested in some of the emerging markets ETF, which I believe there's a really high potential for growth.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that every single one of you brought up ETFs, because even though $1 million sounds like it's a lot, when you're looking for diversification, really the only way you can get it with that amount of capital, you know, how do you replicate everything that's in an emerging market ETF and manage that? It can be quite expensive to trade in and out of. So I think it's really interesting that you're using thematic ETFs to almost be a part of your stock picking. So Tom, with Voleo, we'll wrap it up with you. When does the competition end?
Competition ends in the spring. We just extended registration. We've still got students that are asking if they can take part. They can. So that's now open until December the 1st. So please feel free, no matter whether you're part of the investment club on your campus or not, to register and take part for that. It's great to see the students doing exactly what we wanted them to do, build diversified portfolios, learn about their futures, and pick up some skills for their careers. So yeah, we're really glad to see that.
And we're really excited to have the winning teams back in the spring. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining. Best of luck with graduation, and of course with your masters and you getting to your senior year next year. And thank you for joining us at MarketSite and on Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.